I heard about the attack on October 7th on the news. It was shocking how quickly anti-Semitism just exploded.
I expected the worst, so I isolated myself. If there's a protest, my approach was to just avoid it.
Walking to class, I remember seeing signs that said, "Homeland or death." People would tape signs to the back of chairs and write things on the chalkboard.
We have seen an increase in incidents, harassment, comments, flyers, that type of stuff.
My team and I immediately started thinking about how we can respond and what would make the most difference. We concluded that just doing our work and continuing to teach respect and empathy, letting people know, especially children, that they have agency, that they can stand up to hate. We have a variety of programs in which we are out with the public all the time.
The Holocaust is at the center of what the team is bringing to students, but it's important to, while understanding specifics of a particular history or form of bigotry, to draw connections across them. We need to think about what the Holocaust teaches everybody.
We don't have a large Jewish population in our school, so a lot of my kids don't know really anything about the Jewish community. When they start making connections between, say, like the Nuremberg laws and the Jim Crow laws of the 50s, they can make that connection with a community that maybe they don't know anything about. When I first started really teaching it, I didn't know where to start. I came to the Max Kaplan Institute, and Wendy handed me a book, her own personal copy of Facing History, and it was kind of my go-to. 99% of what I bring in, I got here.
I heard about the Engines of Change program. My entire class was created with the curriculum of the museum. Really, the whole class is about how to be an upstander, to be globally connected citizens and critical thinkers.
Engines of Change was a very positive experience for me. That's really given me a great foundation for my life. How can I stand up for myself and stand up against anti-Semitism if I'm not informed about what's going on and what's the difference between the propaganda and the truth so that I can help the truth pierce through?
The great thing about kids is even when they're disgruntled teens, like they're inquisitive. They have questions. They want to know things about the world, and a lot of them have a really strong sense of justice. Kids need a safe space to be able to have those conversations with other students because it's not easy. The museum is great, and the education team has worked so hard to put together resources for us.
They keep it modern. It's not just old video clips of World War II. We spend a good bit of time talking about why do people stereotype? Where do these ideas come from? Or more importantly, what do we do with these stereotypes when we come across them? Standing up for people, regardless of why they're being targeted, is the most important part.
Hate is something that is learned, so you can also learn how not to hate. The relationship with HPD and the Holocaust Museum, I mean, it's invaluable. Our class is full almost every time we teach it. Law enforcement, prior to the Nazis coming to power in Germany, were neutral professionals. But something happened that led them down a path to where they ended up committing some of the worst atrocities we've ever seen. I wanted to believe that they were forced, and to learn that that wasn't the case was difficult. The goal of this class is to use that lesson to show law enforcement officers, okay, look, this happened. This is how it happened, and this is what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I never thought in my lifetime that I would have to be concerned about being visibly Jewish or working in an institution such as the Holocaust Museum, but it is what we're dealing with. It's a very heavy time. It's making us more motivated, and we want to work harder because we really believe that education is the key.
Walter case was the first testimony that I ever heard. Hearing that survivor testimony just made it so personal that these were human beings who had families and lives before the Holocaust, and they're not just a cautionary tale.
We bring our kids to the museum usually every spring. Standing in the cattle cars for them really makes it real. A lot of people in this country don't have access to museums. The outreach of the museums is really important because the best way to combat anti-Semitism is to get information in the hands of people.
Fighting anti-Semitism is going to take all of us. It's going to take law enforcement, it's going to take educators, it's going to take advocacy groups to stand up, to speak out against the hate targeting the Jewish people. This is a long battle ahead of us, and we have to stay united and work together to end anti-Semitism.